Hello everyone, Neve here, and today I am doing the hashtag Contemplative Cups, and this is the second video in um, the the hashtags about my favorite miners. All right, and I think the person who started this was Crescent Dreams Tarot. All right, so let's get started. It took me forever to get this all set up, but here we go. And I will say right off the bat that the cups is my least favorite suit. I think for a lot of people in the tarot community, sorry about the dog there. I think sorry. For a lot of people in the tarot community, I think that the cups is the favorite suit. But for me, I think I have the hardest time with the cups because it's has a lot to do with emotions and getting in touch with your emotions and things like that. And that's, I guess, something that's a little difficult for me, or I don't know if it's really difficult so much as it is uninteresting. Yeah, I like my favorite suits are the pentacles and the wands. I like that fiery energy of the wands and the action, and I like the practical nature of the pentacles. And the swords definitely has its place too. So but I tend to gravitate more towards the swords than I do the cups. So the cups is just it's a suit that is a little difficult for me to, I guess, wrap my head around because I don't know. I feel like I don't know. I don't know what I'm trying to say here. So let's start with the aces. I pulled out three cards here. I gotta say that I was quite surprised. There are several from the Everyday Witch Tarot. I couldn't remember the name of this deck. I've pulled out several from the Everyday Witch. I also have, this is from the Force of Enchantment, and this is from the, let me zoom in a little bit. This is from, what is this deck? The Gentle Tarot. I think I'm frazzled today. I don't know what's going on, but all right. So the Ace of Cups to me, like the first keyword that really comes to mind when I think of the Ace of Cups is expression. And it's kind of, for me, I think of the original imagery of the cup with the overflowing water. And I didn't pick that here with this imagery, and maybe this one's a little bit like that, but and we do get an overflowing cup here too. Yeah. But in general, like I think of the Ace of Cups as like crying, like literal crying, or overflowing of emotions, or just getting it all out. That's kind of how I see the Ace of Cups. Another interpretation is something having to do with intuition, and I think this card is a little closer to that. Or I don't know, like, yeah, I don't know how to explain what I'm trying to say here, but yeah, so it's, to me, the Ace of Cups is an overflowing of emotions, an overflowing of feelings, and expressing those feelings. And I think, kind of like my dog right now, expressing her feelings. I just told her to knock it off. But anyway, yeah, so like, okay, so for this card here from the Everyday Witch Tarot, I kind of like we do get some of that intuition here, so, things in the head, and yeah, things are bubbling here, and the cup is overflowing here. There's a lot going on here that I can read into, and there is a creature down here at the bottom. Yeah, there was just a lot here that I could read into, and I was trying to find imagery that didn't just have a cup with overflowing water, and this has that overflowing water. Her cup is full. It's too full. It's overflowing, but yeah, so, and then this one I liked because it kind of had that typical imagery, but I felt like this person has it under control. She's got the emotions, and maybe there is some more having to do with intuition with this card too, but there's more control with this. Whereas this one, she's not quite in control of that. And now this card here, I thought was interesting because it kind of had to do a little bit with illusion. this Ace of Visions. Yeah, like it's like this person was looking in the mirror and seeing her potential, if that makes sense. And so this was a slight deviation from my understanding of the Ace of Cups, and I sort of thought of this as a wanting to express this inner self, and this or the swan's inner self is this you know, regal, you know, bird, you know, this regal bird that really exudes, what's the word I'm trying to think of? Just, I don't know. I think I'm really frazzled with this video here. I'm having a hard time with this. But anyway, I think I'm not quite sure where I was going with this, but I like these ones because they're a little bit different than the typical ace. All right, let's just move on because I'm apparently having a hard time with this. All right, so for the two, I have 4 cards here. Another card from the Forest of Enchantment. This one from the Light Seers Tarot. This one from the Star Trek Tarot. And this one from the Wonder World Tarot. All right, so the Two of Cups for me has to do with partnership, usually like a love situation, but here we see something that's a bit more friendly. It's not necessarily a partner, like a love situation here, or maybe it is. I don't know, but this is just 2 really really good friends who have partnered up, and they're enjoying each other's company, and I like that. Now with this one, we see that typical imagery of it could be 2 friends, 2 really close friends supporting each other, but I say this a little bit in the love category, and I do like that it's 2 female presenting characters here. You know, so I like that. And so this one I picked out honestly because mostly because I just like the rainbows and the colors, and it's just really pretty. But I also like that this is an interracial couple here. They're joining hands. So there's some symbolism in that I like. And this one I picked out because this one actually goes in a different direction. And if you saw my hashtag Wonderful Wands video, I was saying how I was trying to avoid decks for these videos where you had to go into the guidebook to really understand what was being depicted here. So like very niche things. So like I don't have anything from the Ghosts and Spirits Tarot because a lot of those you can't quite tell what's going on in the scenes. But reading the guidebook will give you an understanding of what's going on and a backstory on the story. And that's kind of the case with this one. But I chose this anyway because I happen to know what's going on here. So in this episode, The Enemy Within, Kirk was in a transporter accident, as happens on Star Trek, and he was split into 2 personalities. And both of these personalities, they're both parts of him, but they're incomplete without the other. And it's causing all sorts of issues throughout the Enterprise because these 2 different versions of Kirk, which are both him, they're just separated and not whole. And finally, you know, after people on the Enterprise realized what had happened, they're merged back together, and the 2 Kirks become the one real Kirk. And I like that for the symbolism of the 2 of Cups because it is the joining of 2 sides to become one unit. And in this case, it's not 2 different people, but it's 2 sides of the same person. So that's a lot of talk about this card, but I actually really liked this depiction of the 2 of Cups. All right, let's move on. I think I talked forever for that Ace of Cups thing because I like my mind was not understanding where I was going on that. All right, so for the 3 of Cups, this was actually really difficult. I almost had nothing for this number. I almost had no cards for this. And then I saw, because like, so with the 3 of Cups, it's the main keyword I think of with the 3 of Cups is friendship. And it is kind of like it's three different forces coming together and just being a cohesive unit, celebrating, having fun, enjoying each other's company. Yeah, it's really tapping into that camaraderie between our friends and our loved ones and the people closest to us. Our circle, our inner circle is kind of what that makes me think of. So I chose, and so many decks have the same sort of imagery, just three chicks, usually chicks, dancing around, partying, yeah. Um, and so I was trying to find something that went a little bit away from that. So this one is probably the closest to the original imagery here, and this is from the Grunge Tarot. Oh, this is from the Grimalkins, and this is from the Crystal Visions. So this here I liked because yeah, it is three women partying, but I don't know, it's just a little bit different. They're not quite all partying the same way, but I don't know, it just I think this just reminded me of like myself and my friends when we were like in our early adulthood, maybe late teens, and there was just um a sense of we're going to be friends forever and just having a good time, drinking, yeah, making a mess cuz I mean look at the ground and those concerts. So yeah, I like the way that this one was depicted. Um Now this one, let's do this one, the Grimalkins. So I like this one because it is three friends, but they're kind of causing mischief, They're getting in trouble together. And maybe this one is the only one who's behaving and is just like, "Oh my god, I can't take you to anywhere." But they're so having fun together. They're enjoying everything, and I feel like that cat's also going to enjoy licking the spilt milk or whatever's in the cups. And yeah, I just liked the goofiness and the kind of mischief with this Three of Cups. And finally, I chose this one from Crystal Visions Tarot because for me, this was a lot more subdued. It wasn't so much three friends having fun and partying or causing mischief, but it was three friends coming together and supporting each other through something. There's something going on, and I feel like it's the middle. I keep saying chick, but the middle girl here or person who's experiencing something, and her two friends here are really there to support her and listen to her. And yeah, so that's what I liked about this one. All right, so that is the Three of Cups. All right, the four. I actually had a lot of cards for this. I was really surprised. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cards I have for the Four of Cups. Yeah, so let's just put these down. So this is from the This Might Hurt Tarot. This is from the Pacific Northwest Tarot. This is from the Forest of Enchantment Tarot. This is from the Anna K Tarot. First one I'm seeing here. Let me zoom out just a little bit here. There we go. All right, so Anna K. This is from the Gentle Tarot. Whoops. And the last one is the Everyday Witch. All right. All right. So yeah, I was real surprised by how many I picked out for this. So this is probably the most traditional. Maybe this one too. Let's see. So we normally see with the Four of Cups, a person who is, they've got 3 cups around them, and they seem sort of uninterested in those cups, and they may be daydreaming. And in some imagery, I think it's sort of they're daydreaming about a different cup. They've got these 3 cups, but they're daydreaming about a different one. Like they're almost like not happy with what they have, and they're daydreaming about something else. The other sort of interpretation is that there's just a complete lack of interest. There's apathy, and that's the main keyword I would say that a lot of people use for the Four of Cups. There's apathy. Like in this one, ooh. Yeah, she has 3 cups behind her. She's being offered a 4th cup, but she seems uninterested in any of those, and she's focusing on meditation, and which is also another sort of key word for the 4 of Cups. It is very meditative. Yeah, so or dreamy even. And I do think of dreams also when I think of the Four of Cups. But I liked the focus on meditation. Like, she's not interested in any of these cups because she's focusing on herself right now. So that's how I read that. With this one just, to me, just shows a very clear sense of apathy, of being bored, uninterested, and totally apathetic. So I like that because I think this one really depicted that. Um, this one is this guy. I feel like he's got, I don't know if it's his three daughters or maybe his three wives or something, but he is like, there's too much going on and he just wants to retreat into himself. It's almost a little bit of a like introvert sort of feeling that I get from this card. And he's just, to me, I feel like he thinks these women are being really busybody types, and he's really just like, he does not care about what they're talking about, what they're gossiping about, what they're moving around the table. He just does not care. There's a sense of apathy there. So this one I liked because it's almost like, with a lot of the imagery, it's like the cups themselves are sort of invisible to the person, whereas with this one, it's the person that is invisible. And we could really read into that depending on the reading. And I feel like she's, or he is, or they are just kind of disappearing into the background, and there's like this malaise going on. And yeah, so I just think this is very interesting. This one, I thought, I don't know, it seemed, it, I don't know, there's something about this that made me think of myself as a parent, and we have this like, just the stresses of life, the day, everything that's going on is on our minds right now, and we just can't think about all these cups, these things going on, and in comes a kid with another cup that, and he's like got this clueless look on his face, or I don't know, you could maybe even see it like he's sad and he's empathetic toward his father here, but like, he's just sort of in his own head right now and just cannot really focus on what's in front of him. And the last thing he needs is another cup. So yeah. And then finally, I chose this one. This is a hermit crab because it kind of went with that sort of introvert idea that I was sort of feeling with this card, where it's got the hermit crab here. It's got his hard shell. He's closed off. He's backing off into his corner, and he does not want to interact with the world. And that's kind of another way I might read the Four of Cups. All right, that one took forever because there were 6 cards. All right, so that is the Four of Cups. Next up is the 5. I'm going to try to go a little faster. I got 3 cards here. Oh, no, 4 cards. I got 4 cards. Okay, so let me zoom in just a little bit now that those 6 cards are out of the way. So this is the Everyday Witch. Like I said, this deck has shown up a lot will show up a lot in these. Then we have the Anna Kay Tarot, the Star Trek Tarot, and the Wonder World Tarot. So for the 5 of Cups, I sort of think of the 5 of Cups as being a little bit overdramatic, or focusing on the negative when there's still some positive, or what am I trying to say? I had this in my head before I started the video, but like, there's a sense of loss, but there is an over focus on that loss and not paying attention to the good things that are going on and how to better them. And I like this depiction a lot from the Everyday Witch Tarot because it makes me think of it's my party, I can cry if I want to. and here is this girl, just like, she's got all this party stuff going on behind her, and there's cups here, there's all the party balloons, full picnic basket, there's all sorts of things that she could be focusing on, but she's she is focused on these three spilled cups, and it's like this big sense of being over dramatic, and I kind of like that. I kind of like that depiction. Um, Now, with this one, I think that also is the same. Again, these two cards I feel like really exemplify that overdramatic element to this card. And we get this with Alice here, where she's crying and crying and not paying attention to the fact that she needs to just figure out the right dosage here, and the drink me's right here, the solution is right here, but she's just focusing on everything that's gone wrong. And now, so this one is a bit darker, as the Anna K is a little bit of a darker deck. It is my favorite deck. But I liked this one because normally we see two or three broken or spilled over cups and two or three upright cups in the deck. Sometimes there's two broken cups and three upright. Sometimes the three, or reverse. With this one, I thought was interesting because there are actually five full cups behind this person, and there's this light day. This cup is just a little too high, so it might take some work to get to that cup. So there are five full cups. He's just got to turn away from these two broken cups or whatever is going on here and realize that he does have everything he needs here. Some of it might take some work to get. Yeah, and some of it's right in his path. So I don't know. There's a lot I could read into this, and I just liked that there are actually five upright cups. Yeah, so there's that one. Now this one I chose. Again, you kind of have to know the story of the episode here. This is Let That Be Your Last Battlefield, and this episode was all about racism in the 1960s. And Star Trek is a very, very progressive show and always has been. It's got its problematic moments, but because each one is a from the times, but for the time that it came out, it's always been a very progressive show. And this episode was all about focusing on the wrong thing. Like, here was this race of beings, and they fought constantly because these people have black on one side and white on the other. I mean, it's really in your face. Like, there's nothing subtle about the message of this episode. And then this person has white on the other side and black on that side. So, and that was the whole reason that they argued with each other. And that sounded absolutely ridiculous to the people of the Enterprise, because it was like, what? But we look at the history of our own planet, and like something as silly as skin color or minor differences between people have straight out caused wars. And yeah, I mean, I'm not going to get too involved in that, but I really thought that this Five of Cups was really showing how we can be focused on the wrong thing. And we really need to find our common ground, our similarities, and focus more on those than our differences. So yeah, so that is the Five of Cups. All right. Next up is the Six. Let's see how many cards I have for this. There are quite a few. We got one from the Druidcraft Tarot. This is the Pacific Northwest Tarot. This is Forest of Enchantment, Anna K, and finally the Book of Shadows, So Below. All right, so the Six of Cups to me is about nostalgia. It's about familiarity, going back to what we're familiar with. There's a lot of inner child stuff with the Six of Cups. And yeah, so let me start with this one. I thought that this one was a nice depiction of the Six of Cups. This is Six of Visions. And to me, it was kind of like this little girl is just getting engrossed in this world of fantasy. And And I like that too, with to represent the Six of Cups. Just that daydreaming, getting lost uh, in another world, and yeah. So I like that depiction. This one is probably, I think this one shows a sense of longing and nostalgia, and looking back on I don't know if it's mistakes, because I mean she's quite happy, so she's thinking back on happier times, on the things that made her happy, and maybe some of the things that she regrets that she didn't keep in her life. So and it sort of has that long lost love sort of feeling to it, especially this depiction. So like a lost lover, thinking about the one who got away. Yeah, it's sort of longing, and thinking in the past. These two cards I like. They were pretty similar. And this had a parent, they're slightly different, watching their own children, and sort of uh, connecting, they're watching inner child stuff through their own children, which I kind of liked, especially as a parent. Now here, this depiction is sort of standoffish. Is He's more standing off and watching his children, whereas this one is depicting probably a mother who is like in play with her children. So I liked those two depictions. And finally, I really love this one. I mean, this is probably one of my favorite cards in this deck, because I just love the little baby octopus. Uh, like and the mother tentacle coming behind here, and I mean we've got the eggs for the next octopi that are about to sprout here, and yeah, I just there wasn't there's a sense of protection here too, and going back to our roots, going back to our family, going to for support from our loved ones. Yeah, so that's what I get from that one. So that is the six, and I had 5 cards for that, so a good amount. Okay, next up we have the 7, and I have 3 cards here. So this is the Everyday Witch, this is the Druidcraft, and this is the Cosmic Slumber. So the 7 of Cups for me is about kind of indecision, or a lot of different choices, a lot to choose from, plenty to choose from, maybe an overwhelm of choices, and also I sort of think of it as uh, an illusion of choice. And we see that here with this. This is a bit of an illusion of choice. He has something real right here that he's not even focusing on. He's focusing on what he doesn't have, and all the other things he wants to bring into his collection, which we can kind of relate to in our world of collecting tarot cards. You know, I can kind of connect to that a little bit. Yeah, so and so I like this depiction of the 7 of Cups, because it does show an aspect of it where a lot of these choices are just not really there. There's an illusion of choice, but we need to focus on what's already here. And then we have this one, which is pretty typical, but I liked how this was showing it, because it's this person coming into a witch shop, and they're not quite sure what they're trying to find. And to me, this just really spoke to indecision, and I liked this depiction of it, because it kind of makes me think of myself. And I get, I am a Libra, but like I get really overwhelmed with choices, and sometimes it's really, really difficult for me to just quickly make a choice on something. And I don't know, I felt really connected to that. And then finally, I chose this card from the Cosmic Slumber. I think this was the only card from this deck that I picked for the cups, because it kind of, a lot of depictions of the 7 of Cups did have this sort of water element, that illusion of choice. And this person has just dove in, and like instead of this person just looking at the cups and kind of daydreaming about it, and like having sort of this fantasy or wish fulfillment thing going on, pipe dreams, etc. This person dove in and went after those cups, but he can't get all of them. He's not going to be able to get all of them, so he's going to have to make a choice as which one he wants to grab. So that's why I liked that one. All right, so that's the 7. Let's see where we are on time. That's 30 minutes in. All right, let's see. Okay, the 8 of Cups. I only have 2 cards for this. I have the 8 of Cups from the Pacific Northwest Tarot, and I have the 8 of Cups from the Anna Kay, which is probably my favorite depiction of the 8 of Cups. I'm going to zoom in a little bit more here. All right, so with the 8 of Cups, I see this as moving on, moving away from something. And with this depiction, which is typically how I like to view the 8 of Cups, we're moving away from what gave us happiness. And let's say this person was in love with one of these people here, and they're moving away because they're the person that they loved is in love with someone else, and they can see that that their love is happier with someone else. So they're doing, the right thing and moving on and letting their lover be happy. So that's one depiction I might see of this. Another one could be that I don't, or it just is that he or she or they is just maybe it's not so they don't want to hurt themselves anymore. They're possibly wanting, this was a good thing, or this could be a past relationship and he's moving away from that relationship. So I mean, there's different ways I can interpret that, but I just kind of like this depiction of moving away from something that would have made you happy, but isn't making you happy, and you need to just move on. And then this depiction I liked because it's pretty straightforward. We've got this lizard shedding his old skin, and he hasn't quite grown back his new skin, but it's coming back, and it'll be better than the last one. So pretty simple, but I like that depiction of the 8 of Cups. All right, so next up is the 9. Oh gosh, I have a pile here. Oh my goodness. 1. Okay, I'm gonna have to zoom out. 1. This is from the This Might Hurt. 2 from the Druidcraft. 3 from Pacific Northwest. 4 from the Forest of Enchantment. 5 from the Book of Shadows, So Below. 6 from the Wonder World Tarot, and 7 from the Pulp Tarot. Oh my gosh. So yeah, definitely. All right. So and I think the reason I have so many cards for this number is because I have a lot of different interpretations of the 9 of Cups. One aspect and one thing that I call it is the wish card. And we've kind of got 3 cards here that sort of depict that. This one straight up, because we're tossing that coin into the well, making a wish. I think this is very straightforward. This is a really pretty card. I really like this card. Probably one of my favorite cards in the deck, and it's straight up, it taps into that wish element of the 9 of Cups. So I really like that one. This one I like because it's that rare pearl in the center of the oyster here. And so it has that same sort of element of that wish, a rare thing. It's a coveted thing. So I like that. This one I like because it's very straightforward. It's a birthday wish. It's a birthday party. Everyone's celebrating the person. And this is a little bit different than one of my other interpretations of the 9 of Cups, because this person is surrounded by family, but they're really focusing on their wish. So that one I like too. All right, so A lot now, another interpretation is a sort of sense of indulgence, and being so wrapped up in accumulating things, or having luxury, and having nice things in life, that you're not paying attention to what's important. And because of that, there's a sense of loneliness. And we get that with the other four cards here of a lone person. Now, this depiction shows someone who's just sort of in their own world, which I like. It's a little bit more Eight of Pentacles for me, which is my favorite card. But this person is in their own world, just constantly making cups. And I think maybe this person enjoys the solitude. So there may be that sort of element with that. Whereas these ones, like, I think this one depicts what I'm trying to say the best, because this person has all this luxury, all these cups here, and no one to enjoy the fine liquor with, no one to enjoy the fine wine or mead or whatever, and because he's focused too much on gaining this sort of wealth, that he didn't put others ahead, and because of that, he's all alone now. So that and that's kind of a negative way you could read into the Nine of Cups, but it's one of a few ways. This one, I mean, this guy, the caterpillar, is like, he's just constantly getting kind of high from his hookah, and so that's kind of he's kind of in his own little world, and he's kind of grumpy, and he's not really letting other people in. Like, people will come to him sometimes, but he's very aloof, he's very standoffish. Yeah, and all he's really interested in is his hookah and relaxing and enjoying his luxury, which could be a good thing, could be a bad thing. And finally, we have this one, and I thought this one tapped in a little bit more with the kind of devil aspect of the Nine of Cups, that overindulgence. And this is also a card that can sometimes indicate alcoholism or substance abuse in general. And this person has maybe really delved into that life of vices. And yeah, so I liked that depiction as well. So that is the 9, and that was probably the most I had. But we've got one more number, and we'll see how many cards I have for that. All right, so for 10, another pile. So this is from the Everyday Witch. This is from Light Seers. This is from Book of Shadows So Below. Wonderworld Tarot. Oh gosh. Okay, we got 6 here. Okay, right here, right here. 10 of Cups here from the Cosmic Slumber. So there was another one. That's right. I thought there was only the one, but I did grab another. And this one from the Gentle Tarot. Okay. Okay, so for the 10 of Cups, the 10 of Cups to me is kind of that happily ever after card. It's a little bit different than the 10 of Pentacles, which is kind of that legacy passing down through the generations. We do get a little bit of that with the 10 of Cups, that family aspect. And sometimes people can confuse the two cards because they're both very much a family aspect. But to me, and we see that here with this picnic and this family, that they've got a child and a baby, and they look about ready to make baby number 3 right here. And they got this really content cat here, and this lovely picnic. They're just really content and happy in life, and it's the beginning of their lives. Yeah, so that's an aspect of it. And here we really see the beginning of life. This is a wedding day, and this really exemplifies that happily ever after. And we see that here with this one too. The 10 of Cups for the Gentle Tarot, these birds and their eggs, and they're just really happy together and waiting for them to hatch, and they're caring for these eggs. And this going off into the sunset, and yeah, that's how this one was really showed that happily ever after. And this one I liked, honestly, because it was just really pretty. But I also liked that we this could be a this could be a queer couple. It's hard to tell. And here are their children who, like they're just enjoying life. They're watching their children play. They're really happy and in love. Um, Now this one I liked because this is a chosen family. This isn't our biological family, which is something that we sort of see depicted a lot in the Ten of Cups. Now, I mean, you can argue that the couple ones are chosen family because you choose your partner. But you don't exactly choose your blood relatives, but you choose your partner. So there is an aspect of that here. But I liked that this depiction was just a very happy and content friend group. And how that can be our family sometimes. So that Ten of Cups energy to me is about being very content in what we have right now, and there's so much potential. And I think that's probably a really good keyword for the Ten of Cups is potential. And going off into that sunset, we've got our whole lives ahead of us, and there is so much potential there. So, and I see that kind of shown in each of these depictions of the Ten of Cups. All right, so we're about 40 minutes in, 42 minutes in. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. The next one is going to be Severe Swords, and I will see you next time. Bye!